It all started when I was 12. At the time, I was in a pretty bad mental state, and I was dealing with some family issues. But overall, things were okay. However, I was young and very susceptible. That's when I met Johnny, an 18-year-old boy who showed a lot of interest in me, which back then, I didn't understand why, but it made me feel special. Over the months we were friends, he used my awful mental state to nurture dependence on him. He made himself my only source of happiness. This is something called grooming, which is done by abusers to emotionally manipulate someone. After being friends for about 6 months, we started dating. He would always express his guilt over dating someone so young just to make me reassure him that it's okay. This dating quickly turned into him constantly begging for inappropriate pictures and telling me I couldn't be around anyone else. It happened slowly, and I was so young and immature, I didn't realize he was isolating me from everyone in my life so he could have me all to himself. When I did something he didn't like or made him feel insecure, he would convince me it's my fault and that I'm a horrible person so that I wouldn't do it again. He nurtured my dependence so well, I would do anything to keep him from leaving. He had rules set up for me. The best story I can give about his rules is something we called the order system. This was a system he made up for when I broke his rules. These rules were often about not talking to male friends or not wearing things he didn't want me to wear in public. When I broke a rule, it would give him 5 orders. These orders worked in a way where he could ask me to do anything, and I mean anything. It could be taking videos of acts that were unimaginably disgusting or miserable for me. If I didn't do what I was told, he would leave. This might not seem like a lot on the outside, but I was so mentally weak and completely emotionally dependent that was the worst thing that could have happened to me. This led to me being isolated from everyone, pressure to send pictures and do things I didn't want to do, and to have my entire mental state dependent on him and his mood. On top of all this, he was a lot older, and everything about us was illegal and wrong. He convinced me age is just a number, and they don't understand, so we were fine. This lasted for 4 years, up until I was a sophomore in high school. These 4 years were filled with manipulation, misery, loneliness, and left me with a warped sense of love. I didn't realize this at the time, but everything about him was abusive. I couldn't see it at the time, how truly emotionally abusive he was, and I didn't realize that abuse came in different forms, not just physical. The few friends I had watched me wither away in this depressing relationship. I spent the majority of my teenage years in dingy hotel rooms and depressive episodes. I like to say I came to my senses and I ended things, but that's not true. The weekend before we broke up, we saw a concert on Friday and spent the next 3 days with each other. It was over those 3 days that I found out he was cheating on me. I found out at the concert by looking over his shoulder at his phone. When I confronted him, he gave a complicated explanation on how he wasn't cheating, and I didn't want to believe it, so I believed his excuse. Shortly after that weekend, he broke up with me. He said that he felt things weren't working out anymore. But truly, they hadn't been for 4 years. The toughest 4 years of my life. He started dating the girl he insisted he wasn't with shortly after we parted. I was left devastated. There's no way I could fit all my stories, the list of disgusting, awful rules he set up for me, and the trauma he left for me as a teenage girl with a broken mind. At the end of the relationship, I started to gain small bits of independence and mental stability. Without this, I wouldn't have been able to handle him leaving. I still felt completely broken and depressed for a long time after he left me. I didn't realize at the time this was a good thing. Despite this, I can proudly say I'm happy. It took me months to realize and accept that what I experienced was abuse. It took me months to understand love is not like that, and I deserve to be loved. It took me over a year to become happy again. I don't think I'll ever forget him. I don't think I'll ever forgive him. But I'm grateful because, as bad as this experience was, it aged me so far beyond my years. It also taught me who my friends were. They always knew what was best for me, even when I didn't. And they're very happy he's not a part of my life today. I'm 17 now. It's been a year since I last saw Johnny. I spent this past year growing, getting stronger, and regaining independence. Although I am very happy with where I am now, I worry about the girl he's with now. I just hope she's okay.